I've been on the Higan Eruthyll hype train for a while now. When this game was first announced, I covered it over on my main channel. I've covered it a multitude of times on this channel, but the game is just, they have done some really dumb things, and two in specific really stand out. These two things we're going to discuss in today's video. Now, let me just state, I played 2 different test phases for Higan Eruthyll, and both of those test phases were not underwhelming, they were decent. They weren't exceptional, they didn't stand out. I had fun in them. I thought the characters looked great, I thought the animations were good, I thought the story was very basic. The story itself was actually kind of underwhelming, but this is still a game that I think could have done pretty well. I feel like Eruthyll, which was another gacha that was released recently, did exceptionally well, and its story was kind of on par with this, but at the same time it didn't look as good, it didn't play as good, so this tactically had more potential than Eruthyll had. But with the game launching on April 6th, the devs have all but set themselves up for failure. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of our incredible patrons. You guys allow me to continue to play games like this for a living, and I can never truly repay that kindness. Also, if you're interested, I stream over on Twitch every single weekend. You should totally come on over and join me. How have they set themselves up for failure? Well, Higan Eruthyll is a turn-based anime RPG that is set in an instance world, very story-driven, and whose main competition also happens to be Honkai Star Rail, which is releasing April 26th, a mere 22 days, 3 weeks after Higan Eruthyll launches. It does not matter how good quality this game is, there is absolutely no way this game is going to retain any semblance of a player base when Honkai Star Rail, a game based on the popular Honkai intellectual property, a game made by the same people that made Genshin Impact, a game that has the exact same theme, the same combat style, yet drastically higher quality, everything, period, is its direct competition. The small minority of players that are going to opt to choose Higan over Star Rail is so insignificant that it baffles me why the devs chose to release the game when they did, knowing full well Star Rail is right around the corner, or why they haven't delayed the game yet. But this isn't the worst part. This is actually fine. Like, sure, they're setting their game up to fail. That is perfectly fine. That is on them. What they did wrong, however, they elaborated on in their FAQ. This specific part down here. How do I log into the game? You can log in with a Google account, an Apple ID, or a registered email account. For stability concerns, logging in as a guest will not be available at the moment. Now, I'm sure upon first inspection, you're thinking to yourself, what does that even mean? Like, how is that going to impact me? And let me tell you, what this means is that you are not going to be capable of re-rolling for other characters. Typically, when you start a gacha game, you start as a guest, you re-roll and re-roll and re-roll until you get the husbandos and the waifus that you want. After which, you proceed to link your account, bind it, secure it, and then proceed onwards playing with that account specifically. But due to you being able to log in as a guest, you can re-roll indefinitely. What Higan Eruthyll's devs are choosing to do is essentially prohibit re-rolling in any capacity. You need to sign up with an actual account and bind that account to your Google account or your Apple ID or a registered email. I mean, you cannot re-roll hundreds of times until you get the characters that you want. What this is essentially incentivizing is spending as much money as you can to obtain the characters that you want. What the studio is doing is they are releasing it before Honkai Star Rail, preventing you from re-rolling in the hope that you will spend as much money as you can and they can earn as much money as possible before Honkai Star Rail kills it. That is an absolutely scummy thing to do. And honestly, I am genuinely surprised that any studio in this day and age would choose to inhibit their own players and prioritize their return on investment over providing players the opportunity to acquire the characters they want, start the game with the characters they want, and show that blatantly they just have a complete disregard for their players overall. Reddit seems to agree with this statement. Stability concern, right? Surely it's not to make it more difficult for people to reroll for a start they like, and instead pay real money to further their accounts in that same hope. But yeah, that stability is important, sure is. Limbus Company has guest accounts on mobile, but they aren't permanent. The accounts are randomly deleted in a few hours, so you need to bind them ASAP after getting a good reroll. That's a good way to handle stability, in my opinion. No rerolls? F. Making a sorry ass excuse and hope it'll get them suckers? Double F. No guest accounts. Yep, another anti-reroll gacha that might be dead on arrival. This game just killed all hype I had going for it. I'm honestly disappointed that a game I thought genuinely looked good, that I had hyped up and covered on a multitude of occasions, is essentially dumpstering itself. They are self-sabotaging. I don't know what their plan was with this. I do not understand how they thought this was a good idea. One, launching the same month that Honkai Star Rail is launching, and two, inhibiting players from rerolling, just something a lot of gacha players do to secure the characters they want that will allow for them to find the motivation to continue playing the game long term. This is just sad. I'm honestly, I don't think this is a bad game. I don't want this game to die, but I would genuinely be surprised if this game made half of what Eversoul makes and does not manage to shut down sometime later this year. If this game makes it to a 1-year anniversary, I will genuinely be shocked. Now, if Higan Eruthyll is not your thing, no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now. One featuring a list of every gacha game confirmed to be coming this month. The other featuring a brand new gacha game launching later this year.